Now iron moves inside the cell. There, iron combines with another protein which is called apoferritin, whose molecular weight is 460,000. It combines with iron to form the ferritin. And this is the final storage form of iron. Ferritin is called storage iron. Iron is stored inside the hepatocytes and reticuloendothelial in the form of ferritin. Now, ferritin is a bit soluble form, not completely, but a bit soluble form. But when there is huge iron inside our body, some of the iron is deposited in very insoluble form, in extremely insoluble form, which is called hemosiderin. So the storage iron means iron is stored in two forms. When it's present in limits, it is stored in the ferritin form. But when it gets over, it is stored in the form of hemosiderin, which is extremely insoluble form. It happens when the ferritin storage pool is less capable of storing iron because iron is too much high. So some of the iron is stored in extremely insoluble form, which is called hemosiderin. Now the last thing about our lecture, that liver secretes apotransferrin in duodenum through bile duct. Because liver, here iron is absorbed. Liver secretes a small amount of this apotransferrin here. So that apotransferrin can combine with iron, can combine with hemoglobin or myoglobin if we are taking meat in our diet. So apotransferrin in the small intestine, which is released by the liver through bile duct, combines with iron, hemoglobin or myoglobin, any form of iron in which it is present inside our small intestine, into our duodenum to form the transferrin, and then transferrin get inside the blood plasma by pinocytosis. Here is a brief description of iron metabolism. One more thing, that transferrin is such a protein that binds strongly with RBCs. Means that it can easily get inside RBCs, and it is absorbed by endocytosis in bone marrow whenever there is hemoglobin synthesis. And we know that hemoglobin synthesis starts in pro-erythroblast stage and continue to the reticulocyte stage. So here is a brief description of iron metabolism. We first read that how many types of iron, how many forms of iron is present inside our body. Then we read how iron is absorbed inside our body. Now the third one, which is an anomaly about iron. Now the third thing, which is the anomaly of iron male absorption, is hypochromic anemia. What is meant by this hypochromic anemia? Hypo means less and chromic means color. Because when we are deficient in iron, our hemoglobin synthesis will be effective, and whenever there is hemoglobin synthesis malformation, there is less hemoglobin inside our RBCs and less oxygen conduction, which leads to hypochromic anemia. This is a form of anemia. Anemia means less hemoglobin inside our RBCs. How it is less? It get less by iron male absorption. When there is no iron or less iron absorption, there will be hypochromic anemia. Means that hemoglobin is red in color when it binds with oxygen. But now there is less hemoglobin inside our RBCs, so it binds with less percentage of oxygen. That's led to the hypochromic, less color, bright color, from bright color to less bright color anemia. Anemia means blood less hemoglobin in our blood. Hypochromic anemia means less hemoglobin. Less hemoglobin. Why less hemoglobin? Because of iron malabsorption. Now last thing about it, that daily loss of iron is about 0.6